students! Welcome back to class. We have a new presenter here today. We have two new students, actually. We have one whose name is Tucker, and the other one is Tiara. But when I filled out my sheet, I decided to put Tucker at the top because it seems to be really his presentation, but he's invited a guest along. So let's have a look at what is going to happen here. And this presentation is from Fox News. So remember, when you make your chart, you're going to put good on the left side here and right on the bad. And if anything good is being said, you give a check mark. And if anything bad is being said, something weird or, dead animals being shown, then you're going to give an X over here. Let's look at the criteria really quickly. So did the student at least try to do the oral presentation? Yes. So already we have a great check mark for that. Now let's look at this. These are the criteria we want to make sure that Tucker and Tiara follow. Did I get her name right? Yeah, Tiara. Okay, so did the student refrain from showing any dead animal products or their secretions during the presentation? Let's hope so. Yeah, we really don't want to show any milk products. We don't want to show any eggs that are being eaten. We don't want to promote any use of any animals as food, as objects. So let's have a look and see how that goes. So far, she's holding a chicken, and it doesn't seem like she's being mean to the chicken, so we'll see. Here's another criteria. Did the student show any vegan, cruelty-free products like Beyond Meat, soy milk, vegan cheese, or vegan pet foods during the presentation? Let's see. Also, we want to make sure that the students talk about how schools and hospitals should be vegan. Did the student talk about how all schools and hospitals should have vegan foods only policies so that everyone can eat them and so that no murder enters these buildings? And of course, the egg industry. Did the student talk about how cute, innocent baby boy chicks are murdered by being put in giant blenders at birth just because they are considered to be useless in the industry? Let's have a look and see what this presentation is like. Everybody ready? Here we go. Oh, I should return it to the beginning. I actually placed it that way because I wanted to show you what they looked like. All right, here we go.
Well, like all obedient Americans, we're pretty dialed into what the CDC has to say about our lives. Every day we check for new guidance, and we have new guidance. For once, it has nothing to do with the coronavirus. This guidance from the CDC is about chickens.
Wait, what? Are you saying that chickens have nothing to do with the coronavirus? That's interesting. Yeah, you might be right, maybe directly, but indirectly. Remember that viruses often start by humans putting animals into tightly confined spaces, such as markets where they sell them, where they kill them, and where they enslave them. And this is not what we want as vegans or as a society going forward. We want animals to be liberated so that viruses are much less likely to start. So I'm not sure that you got that right. So I'm going to give you an X for that, Tucker, because you should make sure to point out that these viruses do have a correlation with how we treat animals, how we exploit them.
The CDC is warning Americans about chickens, and we're quoting now, "Don't kiss or snuggle backyard poultry, and don't eat or drink around them," end quote.
Okay. Is the CDC also recommending that you don't eat chickens at all? You are not talking about that part of it. Let's see, maybe he's going to say something about that. Maybe he's going to emphasize that that's important, that we do not eat these animals, that we don't keep them as pets, because animals are not meant to be kept in close, confined quarters, not even under our care. The only reason that we should have any animals near us is if we are helping them, not breeding them into existence just for our pleasure.
Now that raises the question, who are these chicken touchers out there that the CDC is concerned about? And we're not judging as we ask that, we just would like to know. Are there people in this country who snuggle chickens? There are. And again, not judging.
Yes, there are. And of course, why would you judge? People who rescue chickens do snuggle with them, such as on sanctuaries when these animals have been saved from being brutally murdered or they have accidentally fallen off trucks, or when activists storm into buildings to try to save their lives, because they think of them as prisoners and they don't like what's going on in these horrific places, which are dark and which are giant spaces filled with thousands of these innocent birds who are not able to spread their wings and see the sun and feel the wind on them. They are, from the moment that they are born until the moment that they die in the industry, they are slaves, and that's not okay. So, but I do give you a check mark for your statement that, yeah, for raising the issue that, yeah, some people do snuggle them, and those are people who care about these animals, and when they get them and they are so sad and so depleted of love and energy and are sick, that, and when these animal rights activists care for them, that's when they snuggle with them.
We found one. Here she is.
My name is Tara, I'm 27, and I'm a chicken enthusiast.
I love you so much.
My chickens are like my babies. Since I don't have human babies, these are my human babies.
Ooh. Your chickens are like your babies. I'm not sure how I feel about that, Tiara. Because chickens are not your babies. Chickens are sentient beings who have their own personalities and their own will and need to live apart from you, actually. So I'm not sure why you have them in your house, but to call the chickens your babies, I think I'm going to have to give you an X for that, Tiara.
I have one special chicken. Her name is Sheila. She stays in my room with me. She does everything with me. This is Sheila. This is my one true love.
Okay, so you have a bunch of chickens, and I'm not sure. It doesn't seem like you have rescued them. And you're saying that you have that is your one true love. I don't know where to go with this, Tiara. I don't know whether I should give you an X because you really should not be having chickens in the house, or I should give you a check mark because you're clearly being kind to them.
Ben's pretty cute. Do you think he likes chickens?
Tara Solem is the chicken enthusiast you just saw. We're happy to have her on tonight. Tara, thanks so much for coming on. Oh, that's a good-looking bird. So how do you... It feels like you've been singled out by the CDC for criticism. How does that feel?
You know, I'm not a huge fan of it because I've been handling chickens since I was about 4 years old, and I've been kissing them, snuggling them, shoving my face in them, and I'm fine. People around me are fine, and I don't see a problem with it.
I mean, you're living the way people used to live. I mean, human beings have a long history with poultry. It's a domesticated animal, right? Why do you think there's the concern now? Why are they coming after you now, the CDC?
I think that maybe they're just looking for something else to control, and I'm not a huge fan, and I don't support it. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep loving on my birds and showing them my affection.
Tell us what you are doing with those birds. I mean, does that bird, who is that? Is that Sheila?
No. This is not Sheila. This is Bad Boy Halo. This is one of my roosters that I hatched back in February. And
It's one of your roosters that you hatched. No. Humans don't hatch eggs. Eggs hatch on their own naturally. And they shouldn't even be around humans. They should be with their mothers. Their mothers should hatch the eggs, and their mothers should sit on them. That is what the mother wants to do, and that's what's best for the baby chicks. Baby chicks ought not be born around humans where the chickens start to think that the human is their mother. That's odd, and it's not what's best. Remember, animals are friends, not food or property. I wonder if they are going to talk about whether she eats chickens or not, or whether Tucker does. I hope that they will speak out against eating animals. But what's interesting, though, is that we are on a Fox News channel. And if they were bold enough to say that they were vegan, that would be excellent because they would have the opportunity to show millions of followers. There are 7 million people who subscribe to Fox News. That would be an opportunity to show millions of followers that animals shouldn't be used in any kind of a way as a commodity. So let's see if they talk about that subject at all.
And he basically just makes me babies, and he's a...
Wait, what? He makes you babies. He makes you babies. No, no. If a rooster is making babies, they're not for you. They are part of the cycle where animals, birds, mate with one another and they have babies like any other bird in society, outside in nature, and they are not for us. So I find it odd that you're saying that. I also find it odd that you brought this chicken into some kind of, I guess you're in the studio, it could be a setup, but it looks like you're in the studio there, or some studio. And you know, chickens don't want to be put in a cage and brought into a car and driven into a studio. That's not how they want to live. They want to be with their families. They want to be outside so they can play in the dirt, spread their wings, and do what is called dirt bathing. And they want to peck at the ground, and they want to just look up at the sky. So I'm not in favor of what you've done here, bringing this chicken into, or it's a rooster, I think she said, into the studio. No.
Real important in my flock.
It's not your flock. A flock of birds doesn't belong to a human. A flock of birds belongs to themselves. Well, so far, the two of you together are not really passing this assignment. But, you know, you could turn it around. We'll see.
What kind of pet does he make? I mean, for people who are thinking, you know, people think of chickens as eggs and dinner. You're describing a whole new way of looking at chickens. Are they good pets?
A whole new way to look at chickens would not be as eggs or dinner or as pets, but as just leave animals the fuck alone. That would be a new way of looking at them, Tucker.
I fully support everybody owning a chicken in their lifetime.
Oh, no. Animals are not us to own as an object. An animal is not a marker that we buy and we use. Birds belong to themselves. They belong to the earth. We shouldn't be raping them into existence, forcing them to be pregnant, and stealing from them. We have no right to steal their lives, to steal whatever comes out of their bodies. If it's cows, we have no right to steal the milk. If it's chickens, we have no right to steal the eggs. And if it's bees, we have no right to steal the honey that they make.
They are way smarter than people give them credit for.
Ah, thank you. That's good. We'll give you a check mark for that, for acknowledging that the chickens have sentience. They are able to think. It's not like they are a plant who has no feelings. Chickens do have feelings, so good job for that.
They have facial recognition.
Yes, they do. They have facial recognition. They are able to identify a human's face to know the difference. So, for example, this chicken by now, because he is used to Tiara, would recognize her as opposed to Tucker, who he has never met. So let's give you a check mark for that. Acknowledging that chickens basically have feelings. They can see a human and get happy that they see that human, or they can get sad or afraid.
They know exactly who I am when I pull up to my house. They're just all around great pets. They have amazing personalities, and people are over here saying that they're dumb. And
okay, amazing personalities, yes. Great pets, no. They don't make great pets. They shouldn't be in the house, Tiara.
Stupid, and they're not even for a second.
So I got to ask you, since you're an enthusiast and an expert, someone once told me that chickens are so dumb, if you face them in a corner, they can't get out. Is that true?
Whoever made that up has something against birds, and it's not true at all. They know exactly what to do. Sometimes they get stuck in corners, but for the most part, they can figure it out.
How many do you, you're totally winning me over, by the way. I'm just going to be honest about it. How many chickens do you have?
I have 30.
Do you live in a rural area?
Yeah, so I live out kind of more towards the outskirts of the city, and I have about 22 acres there with all of them living there with me.
Are those, last question, are these house birds? I mean, I'm trying not to ask, do they sleep on the bed? But I'll just ask, do they sleep on the bed?
So when I have like chicks, when I've hatched chicks,
Again, she's saying that when she has hatched the chicks, like she's not sitting on them. She's not a bird. Why does she have these chickens in her house? I'm afraid that we don't have an answer yet, and I hope that we will have an answer. But is she raising them so that they will be eaten? Does she sell them? That's not okay. And I hope Tucker's going to ask, does she sell the eggs? I hope that Tucker's going to ask. Come on, Tucker, ask some good questions now.
I have been known to bring them inside. I'll like roll them up in a towel and they'll sleep next to me, and it will be like a chicken burrito.
What? No. Chickens should never be labeled or named as in being a burrito. That's not even funny. You don't put a chicken inside any kind of a burrito and eat it. And no, if your chickens are being taken care of, let's say that you've rescued them and you put a blanket over them, that's called taking care of them. That's called rescuing them.
And sometimes they'll come inside, like if I need to give them a bath or clean them or stuff, but they're pretty comfortable inside.
Well, if they need a bath, why would a chicken need a bath? Chickens are meant to be outdoors, and how they bathe, like any other bird, is they go into water themselves if they feel like it, or they bathe within the dirt itself. They rub the dirt on them and then they shake it off, and that gets rid of any excess. If there could be like some bugs in there or whatever. But there's no reason to bring a chicken into your bathtub unless your chicken was somehow outdoors and got stuck in some oils, some human-made substance, and you are just trying to get it off because there's no other alternative. But no, it seems odd to me. Now, Tucker has not yet talked about the important issue about whether she eats animals or not, whether she eats chickens, and Tucker hasn't talked about it himself either. Now, let's remember that this is a news network, and if they speak out against the poultry industry, they might not get funding from them. So this might be a reason why he's evading the important question and the ethical issue of eating animals.
I am such a believer. Tara, thank you.
You're a believer. In what? In not eating animals? Let's see what he says.
So much for coming on tonight. That was great. Good
What?
to see you.
You are so welcome. Thank
That's
you for
it?
having me.
Hey,
Oh, what? No. Oh, shoot. So, Tucker did not ask if she's vegan. He did not mention whether he is vegan. He did not ask or even talk about the important ethical issue of keeping animals as pets. He just made a big joke out of it. Oh, so disappointing. What about the other things? Did he talk about how it's important that schools and hospitals should be vegan foods only? Did he talk about the ethical stuff? No, he did not. Did he talk about the egg industry and what happens? I mean, not everybody has backyard chickens and they shouldn't be eaten anyway. But did he make a correlation to all of the chickens, the billions of chickens that humans eat every year? No, he failed to talk about how horrific the egg industry is. Did he show any cruelty-free products, such as Beyond Burgers or soy milk or vegan cheese or vegan pet food brands? I didn't hear anything at all about the word vegan or anything at all about the ethics of and the importance of not eating animals. But did he refrain from showing any dead animal products or their secretions? Yes. So we'll give him a check mark for that. All right. So here is our total. Unfortunately, Tucker and Tiara, they did not pass this course, this class, and this presentation because there were more bad X's than there were check marks. So students, what about all of you? When you do your presentations, make sure that you talk about how horrific the meat, dairy, and egg industries are. And also want to encourage you all to watch and to go to a channel. It is called egg-truth.com. I'm going to write it here. egg-truth.com. egg-truth.com. Say it a few times so you'll memorize it. There you're going to find out why we should not be eating any backyard eggs or any chickens at all. It's called egg dash. Now remember the dash. That's the important part there, because you want to make sure that you don't get to any propaganda. You want to get to what actually happens to the animals. So thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. That Vegan Teacher, we will be looking at all kinds of other things. We'll be evaluating all kinds of speeches from people all over the world, whether they are on the left side politically or the right side politically, whether they are vegan or not vegan, and we will be talking about all kinds of animals and the humans that exploit and save them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next class. Do 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 do.